The big word of today is SNAP, SNAP program, everybody, because as of November 1st, because of the government shutdown, 42 million people in the United States will not get their benefits for their food because of the Schumer shutdown. That's right, Schumer shutdown. He refuses to vote and participate in the opening of the government because he doesn't want to do it because he's holding the country hostage. And if you're a benefit holder and you're one of these people that are on the program, you need to start looking at the people to blame, and that's Schumer and the Democrat Party. We're going to unpack this for you and break it all down and see exactly who's to blame and what are the statistics of the individuals that are really on SNAP. Stick around. You just might learn something. A lot of things in the news right now. Everybody's talking about the SNAP program that on November 1st, the SNAP benefits are going to be gone for 42 million people in this country because the government is shut down. The old Schumer shutdown is still in play because the Democrats refuse to go vote on it and pass it so they can keep the government open while they negotiate. Now, I hear a lot of people on the left saying, oh, well, they can vote on it. The right can go push it through because they have the majority. Here's a little news flash for you guys. I'm going to say it once again. You need a supermajority in the Senate. That means the Republicans have 53, and they need 7 Democrats or 2 independents and 5 Democrats to vote for the CR to reopen the government so everybody can get their food stamps and their SNAP program back, and the government can keep going forward, and then people can actually get paid, the military get paid, SNAP people can get their benefits and move on. But they're not going to do that because Chuck Schumer is so afraid of getting primaried by AOC because the far left is on his hot tails, and they're doing something right now so they can try to stand their ground to look all important for their hardcore left base. And they're making themselves look worse because right now, this whole shutdown isn't hurting Trump in the polls at all. He's actually up +1 as of last week. So until they realize people are going to be losing their benefits, and the problem with the benefits is people are going to be pissed. So if you're on these government programs, you need to realize the government has you by the short hairs, guys. They can manipulate the government on your behalf. They're playing with you. They're playing with your food. They're playing with your paychecks. They're playing with your livelihood. That's the Democrat shutdown. The Schumer shutdown is doing that to prevent you from getting paid. Why do you keep supporting them when they are continuing? This is 4 weeks now, and they're continuing to do this. Now, I don't have a problem with anybody being on a government program like SNAP temporarily. These are temporary things for people to be on. But unfortunately, people are on it generation after generation. You know it, and I know it. I don't need to pull out statistics to prove that to you because everybody knows some family out there that's been on assistance, since they were a kid, and now that they're an adult, they're on assistance again. These programs are set forth for a temporary relief for people that had hardships, period. But we've got 42 million people right now on this program, on the SNAP program, that after November 1st, they're not going to get their benefits. So I saw a little clip on Newsmax from Finnery, the Finnery program that he has on there, and he put up a graphic. Everybody's seen it. The whole graphic has gone very viral, and it talks about a couple of different countries that are getting food stamps, that are using the SNAP program, if you will. So Afghan has 45.6% of them. Somalia, 42.4%. Iraqi individuals are 34.8%. Haitians are 23.3%. The problem with that graphic is this. He breaks it down by a percentage of the people that are in this country of that nationality. He's not breaking it down by how many of them are actually on it. So here are the actual numbers. In now listen, I'm not a leftist by any means. I just want to give people accurate information because there are news programs out there, like I'll even talk about Steven Crowder here later on in the show, that put up information that's really not that factual. It is in a way if you twist it and turn it, but it really isn't because the total amount of immigrants from those countries are 478,700. That's it, total. So Afghan individuals in this country, there are 250,000 of them. So 45.6% of them, it's 114,000. That's it. It's 114,000 people. Somalia ones, you're looking at 180,000 people, 42.4%. That's 76,300. Iraqis, 300,000 of them, 34% of that, that's 104,000. Haitians, 800,000, 23%. That's 184,000 immigrants that are in this country using the SNAP program. So what the graphic tells you, from what he showed on Newsmax, oh my God, it's like 45% of these people are actually using the SNAP program when there's only 42 million people. 46% of them are from another country, and that's false. So the actual total of those people, it's about 10%. American citizens make up about 90% of all the people that are on the SNAP program. So I looked at the research. I did the research for you guys. There's all the stuff that comes from the USDA. It comes from the Census Bureau. This is where all this information is coming from. And these are tables that I just got from 23 and 24 that I'm talking about on this program. So if you see right here on American citizens, on the SNAP participants by citizenship and immigrant status, the American citizens, born U.S. citizens, are 89.4%. Naturalized citizens, people that became naturalized citizens, 6.2%. Other eligible non-citizens, 3.3%. And refugees, asylees, is 1.1% on the SNAP program. So when you break it down, it really is U.S. citizens that are actually using the SNAP program. But it's still a lot of people. It's 42 million people that are on this program. And now, because the government is shut down and so many individuals are on this program, now they're stuck. They're stuck. The amount of eligibility that they allow you to get on this program, it's very low. A lot of people can qualify. You probably can qualify for it if you applied for it. And people are astonished when you actually, people just say, just apply for it, man. They'll tell you if you qualify or not. If you're a small business owner, you send in your tax returns, send in a couple other documents, and they come back to you with how much money you get every month in the SNAP program. That's how it works. And these people are on these programs year in and year out. This isn't to get you out of the ditch. They're staying on these programs indefinitely. And now you're realizing when the government shuts down and you're tied to the government one way or another, they control your life. So welcome to Socialism 101, guys. You are tied to the SNAP program. If you're on that program right now, the 42 million people, and you're one of them, you're tied to the government right now. And when the government shuts down, guess what? You're not getting your lobsters. You're not getting your steaks. You're not getting your cereals. That's what happens. So the people that are on these programs need to wake up a little bit and start paying attention, start going after the people who are keeping this government shut down. Because right now, we're going to break this whole thing down. We're going to break it down by race. How many individuals that are actually on the program by race? And you're going to be shocked. White, non-Hispanics. They make up a majority of the individuals that are on that program. As you can see right here, they got African Americans, Hispanic, Asians, Native Americans, multiracial, and then unknown. It's a large percentage of white people that are on these programs. So anybody telling you it's all the black people or the Hispanic people, no, it's not. The majority of people that are on these programs are white. So yes, it's white people that are on these programs more than any of the population. Now, if you break it down per capita, okay, obviously you're going to get African-American community is on the program a lot more than white people because white people are a higher population. We all know that. But these are the numbers, guys. It spans through everybody. Everybody's on the program. So it's not just one race or another. Everybody is simply on that program. And it's by education. Now, if you get an education, okay, and you have a college education, you are more likely to probably not be on the program. That's a fact. When you break it down, if people that have high school diplomas or equivalent tend to be more towards the SNAP program or government assistance. That's just how it is. So everybody out there complaining, oh, you don't need to get a college education. Yes, I still believe you need to get a college education some way, shape, or form, but I don't think you need to get one in basket weaving. I think if you're going to be a philosophy major, you need to figure out that I'm going to be a professor somewhere in college. After I graduate at becoming a student, I'm going to become a professor. That's what you do. Unless you're going to get something in a high-tech field, an engineer, higher education, maybe an MBA somewhere along the line. You can get into business somewhere, marketing, high-end marketing type of job. But there are a lot of technical jobs, all types of engineers, doctors, lawyers. But there's a lot of jobs out there that pay $200,000 a year if you get the right type of education. So yes, college is very important because I'll show you right here, the education really shows people that are on bachelor's degrees. As you can see in the graphic, the educational attainment of people. So the educational level of percentage of people on SNAP is high school diploma or GED is 40%. Some colleges 19%. Associate's degree is 9%. Bachelor's degree is 9%. This leaves about 23% with less than a high school diploma. And only about 18% have an associate's degree, higher compared to 46% of non-SNAP adults. Just so you know, Note that more recent national breakdowns aren't publicly available yet, but the trends have been stable over the past decade, absent major economic shifts. Regarding single motherhoods, approximately 2.9 million were receiving SNAP benefits in 2023. That's the latest year detail we have. This equates to 40% of all U.S. single-family parent households, totaling 7.1 that year. Participating in the program, these households represent a significant share of the SNAP's family-based enrollees, with over half of SNAP households with children, about 62% or 4.5 million total, headed by single adult, primarily mothers, given their demographics. So these are the numbers that we're getting over and over and over again. So if you start looking at what's going on with the SNAP program, you're going to start realizing that it is a waste of government spending, that people are on this program that probably don't need to be on the program. There are. Now, as I said before, I don't have any problem with anybody being on government assistance for a brief period of time, 2 years, 3 years, whatever that may be. But for long periods of time, it needs to stop. And the spending that these people are talking about, it's almost asinine. So the people on SNAP make about $17,000 a year. That's kind of the average people that are participating on SNAP. But Steven Crowder did on his show saying that they spend more on groceries using their SNAP program than people who are paying it out of their own pocket with cash. That was false too. But if you break it down by how much they actually spend per capita, or how much they make, yes, people spend more using the SNAP money than you would if you're using your own cash by how much you make. So the average is $17,000 a year, and this is what they're spending. So the SNAP participants spend about $420 every single month on their groceries. The people who are spending their own money, it's about $780 a month on their groceries. So if you look at it that way, yeah, people like us spend more money using our own cash. But if you do it per capita, like how much you make a year, they're spending more out of their pockets for food than people who are actually paying it out of their own pocket. What does that tell you? That tells you people are wasting a lot of the money. And the money that they spend on groceries is pretty significant. Even though the average is about $420 a month, and in some cases, it's a lot more than that. You know that, and I know that. With all the benefits people get on these programs, it could range into the thousands of dollars. But we're gonna break it down like the actual food expenditures that people are using to make purchases with the SNAP program. And it's kind of eye-opening. Now, if you're using the SNAP program for food, meat, cereal, bread, milk, cheese, eggs, right? That's what it should be for. That's it. That's all you should be allowed to purchase on SNAP. But you can get sugar snacks, you can get Hostess Twinkies, cupcakes, Ding Dongs, Little Debbie's. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to get it, you should be able to have to use your own money for that. You want to buy Coke, soda, you want to buy Pepsis, Dr. Peppers, you want to buy some Yoo-Hoos, some Capri Suns, sugar drinks, you got to use your own money. You got to use your own money for that because that expenditure is extreme. I'm going to break it down for you. Spending SNAP household food spending goes like this. So meat and poultry is about 19.2%. Sweetened beverages, which is like soda, okay, 9.3%. Vegetables, 7.2%. Fruit, 7.1%. Cereal and bakery goods, 6.9%. Dairy products, 6.8%. Snacks and sweets, 5.7%. Other foods and condiments, 37.8%. So you've got snacks and sweetened beverages at 9 and 6. 15% of the expenditures that people are spending on the SNAP program with their benefits are going to sugar, foods, and sodas. Let's call it soda. You can call it Kool-Aid, whatever you want. Kool-Aid's fine, I guess, right? You can get Kool-Aid, little pouches and packets of Kool-Aid and make a picture of it for what, $3? But they're buying sweetened drinks out of the money that they're getting. That's 15% of the budget that they're spending. It's like $60. So if you're spending that much money on sugar snacks, you shouldn't be allowed to. We need to trim some of that down. I mean, I remember RFK Jr. was talking about that. You shouldn't be allowed to buy some of those things on the programs. And I agree with that. You should buy essentials, food, water, right? Meat, poultry, bread, milk, eggs, cheese. That's about it. That's about it. And some cereals. But when you're looking at stuff that these guys are buying on the program, it's kind of a waste. Look, and I get it. And I don't want to sound heartless at all, because I feel for people that have to be on these programs. I've worked very hard to get where I'm at. I've worked very hard. And I've had a lot of ups and downs of having your own business. Having your own business, a lot of peaks and valleys. Highs and lows. Some months are terrible. Some years are awful. And some years you just got to figure it out. But we try to make it. People need to work hard. I think people, once they get on these programs, they stay on these programs because it's easy. It's easy to just stay on there and let the government take care of you. It's easy to just go on there, fill that paperwork out every month and submit it and get that money back. It's easy to do that. It's hard to work harder because a lot of people don't. And a lot of people, once you get in the system, you get wrapped up in it. And when you get wrapped up in the system, you don't want to come out of it. It's just too comforting for people to get the kind of benefits you can get off these SNAP programs. But it's going away. So it's going away. So what's going to happen on Halloween, October 31st? People know they're not going to get their groceries. If they know they're not going to get their groceries, what are they going to do? What's going to happen in these inner cities like Chicago, Memphis, LA, Atlanta, New York, when people can't get their SNAP money on the 1st? What's going to happen? Are they going to start looting? Are they going to start breaking into grocery stores? Are they going to start breaking into CVS's? Are they going to start breaking into Walmart's and taking TVs? Because that's what happens. It starts spreading like a wildfire. So what's going to happen when they cannot get their food stamp money to purchase their groceries? How much anarchy is going to go on? That's why I think Donald Trump sent the National Guard into these major cities. That's what I think happened. Donald Trump is 4 steps ahead of everybody. He's going into these major cities with the National Guard and the federal law enforcement officers to calm the fires down. And the reason why? Because all this BS was coming. All this BS is coming. And he's doing it because this stuff's going to be a firestorm. And when people start rioting and start breaking into grocery stores to get food, you better go now. As of this airing, I suggest right now, if you watch this show, you go out tomorrow and go start buying some groceries. Start buying load up on some groceries if you live in some of these major cities. Because if you don't, you're going to have a rude awakening when you go to the store on Monday or Sunday afternoon. There's not going to be much there because I have a big feeling what's going to happen. And these same groups that organize all these No King protests, they're the same ones that are going to organize the anarchy in the streets because of the SNAP program. Trust me, mark my words. They're already planning it out, guys. If you don't think you are, you're very naive. Because when this stuff happens, it spreads throughout the country simultaneously. And you're going to see a run on grocery stores. Some grocery stores are saying they're going to close down. That's the rumor I heard. Some are going to close down in some areas in some of these major cities because they're afraid there's going to be a run on their groceries. People are going to be throwing grocery carts through the front window, breaking in and grabbing some bread or lobster tails or some filet mignons. Anyway, that's it for today. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observations, and some good old-fashioned conversations. Thanks. Go get you some groceries, guys. Go get some groceries.